Okay, we're ready to start episode 16, Gainful Employment. I wonder why I called it that. Welcome to Valenaria Chronicles, episode 16. I am your dungeon master, Joseph Dunlap. So, where we left off, here's our recap for the story. A few episodes ago, we were enlisted while we were hanging out in Gamut, a lovely town, pretty lively, the third largest settlement in this area, where after establishing themselves as what people insisted on calling heroes, and even had a painting made of them that the commission should be soon done so I can show it off, they were approached by an impetuous young woman named Narala, who said, "You are going to help me rescue my family and the rest of the people who live on my river village." So they did that, and where we left off last session, they returned everyone to their village from enslavement in an orc tribe, and they promptly left there, made some friends with kobolds, and then arrived in Gamut on the night of the 17th of Obid. That's the recap, and the last thing we were talking about last session was you were going to return to Gamut, and you're in the flagon wagon, if that's correct, Tristan.
Yes. Wagon.
So, tell me what we're doing. It is currently nighttime.
It's currently nighttime. Is, anybody out and about in the town?
So, anyone who's doing any amount of shopping or working retail is not going to be out, but there might be a few people taking a walk, or maybe they were visiting a friend, they're walking home, so you can expect occasionally you'll see someone on the road, maybe even a guard on patrol.
Literally every person we pass by who is out, I don't care what they're doing, they're walking by, I'm just going to, I'm gonna put on my purple outfit again and say, "The heroes of Garson's Farm have returned from their latest venture against the mighty orc tribe of the south, and we're gonna go drink at the Wagon Flagon."
Okay, roll diplomacy.
I got a 17.
That's a good roll. I'm gonna make a roll. Okay, that was a really good roll. You attracted approximately 18 people to come to the Wagon Flagon.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Excellent.
not bad. You're going to conclude your business with Fraud, which I believe was prepaid, is that right? That was like 5 sessions ago.
Yeah. We paid him for round trip, sorry.
Okay, then you have no more need for Fraud Smith right now, and you're going to stroll on to the Wagon Flagon to drum up some business. And you notice, we're close to 24 people who are here in excess, if you will, brought in because of you. So that means that Big Edenwood is super pleased with you and welcomes you back to Gamut.
That's how we do it.
In fact, he says, "Welcome back to Gamut, heroes.
Howdy.
I trust things went well."
More than well.
About as well as you could hope.
Excellently, then. So he directs you to the middle table of the Wagon Flagon, which is where you were during the party those long days ago, over a week ago. And he brings you whatever you want on the house. And not quite as spectacularly as the big party that you had in your honor, but, still pretty decent. There's a good amount of patrons all just sort of hanging out in your general area, wanting to talk to you and just enjoying each other's company as well. And those paying customers are more than paying for you.
Such nice townspeople.
Is there anything anyone wants to do, a specific thing they want to order, or any specific tasks they want to carry out?
I would probably try and drum up a crowd and regale them with the tales of both the fight against the two orc leaders and the fight against the bear. Try and do some showboating for Cord, basically.
Showboating for Cord, trademark. Okay, which one of those stories would you like to act out for me?
people will generally be more against orcs, so let's go with the orc one.
People like bears.
Some do.
I love bears personally.
So do I. I find them very tasty.
Okay, you've got a small audience. You recognize a few of them, including some ladies who like your biceps. And now they want you to tell them the story of how you slew 2 mighty orcs. You didn't say that, they said that.
I'm pretty sure he only slew one, and I slew the other.
I'm pretty sure no one died.
Yeah, no one actually died.
Yeah, but how many swings did it take you? I managed to do it in one. When Phil hit as wimpy as the one I fought, I could have taken it all myself.
Who got hit and who didn't?
Last I checked, we both got hit. I'm the only one that didn't get hurt.
I only lost some hair.
Well, the throng at Rook's feet very much want to hear his rendition of the story of how he took down the Great Orc.
So, we had set out to free a number of villagers that had been enslaved by this orc tribe. And as we didn't want to cause as much bloodshed as it would be necessary to take on the whole group, we sought to only fight their leadership over the rights of who could, control the slaves, in our case, just to set them free and take them home. So, they put up their best 2, and we put up our best 2. Myself and, what's his name again? I don't remember, sorry, it's been like 2 weeks.
Mahal.
Mahal. Myself and Mahal here. And after Mahal got done playing with his, I let the other one take a swing, hardly felt it, and then promptly removed his right arm,
Audible
ensuring that
gasps from
his
your
days
audience.
of fighting were done.
One person faints.
Oh no!
Everyone else is just super impressed.
I'm gonna run over to the person who fainted and start fanning them.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, dismemberment really gets me. Rook, let's have you roll some sort of roll, like, diplomacy seems like the best one.
Okay. Alright, that's a 16 die. Let me find diplomacy on my sheet. This is gonna be high. Oh yeah, 26.
Wow, okay. Well, now Mahal and
I may
Rook
or may
have
not
fan
have
club.
diplomacy maxed.
With the natural +2.
Yeah.
I should
Well-
start putting points in diplomacy.
It is now a thing for colorblind fighting types to have fan clubs. Because now you have a diehard fan club who wants to hear any story you happen to have for them. So if you want to, we can just assume that you're still telling stories. If you feel inspired as we continue the roleplay, then you can bring it back to Rook so Rook can tell another story.
Like, if we end up with dead air, sure, but I don't want to, keep taking the spotlight.
Yeah, I'll come back to you if you feel inspired. Meanwhile, let's see. Mahal, do you also desire to tell stories and have a fan club?
No, Mahal is just gonna have a drink for the night.
Okay, when you say a drink for the night, what are we talking here? Because you're a dwarf.
What's a dwarf version of a pint? Is it still just a pint?
I imagine, yeah, a pint is still just a pint. Because tolerance.
Yeah, so he's just gonna have a single pint.
Ah, okay. Early night. And then, let's see, Zira, what are you up to with Winter?
She's just petting her for now. Just petting.
Okay, if Winter's open to it, Winter also has somewhat of a fan club of some younger types that want to lavish attention upon her.
Oh yeah, they can pet her all they want.
They will also bring snacks to Winter unless you're going to tell them do not feed Winter human food.
Winter can eat anything.
She's a good girl. Now let's move on to Isarel and... Hold on. Are you Dirk here?
Yeah, I'm Dirk here.
Okay. I had to pull up your page. Dirk and Isarel, last time we were here, you were into music and dancing. What are we into now?
I am going to make sure that the person who fainted is okay, and then I'm going to start talking, and I'm going to assume that someone inevitably asks about the travels, and I'm going to say how I became a leader.
Okay, we'll say that the group that wants to talk to you is partially some of the potential suitors from last time that wanted to dance with you, but also some young women who seem to be looking up to you. And so they want to hear all about how you became a natural leader and what amazing leadership skills you have.
I am, of course, going to downplay my abilities, but I will just say that I always like to help people.
Do go on, please. How did you help people?
Well, we did manage to save an entire village from orcs.
Ah! That sounds incredible. Did you slay all the orcs yourself?
Oh, no. Oh, no. So, see, I can help people sometimes, but I don't have the strength like some of my friends over there.
Oh, the ones with the beefy arms.
Yes, exactly. But we all worked together, and we saved their lives.
You saved their lives? You're a hero.
I mean, I'm assuming we saved their lives. No one wants to be a slave and not have any freedoms, right?
Oh, we agree. They're just eating it up.
I will summarize how we traveled back, and then they all split up and went to different towns.
They loved the story. I'll come back to whoever, but Gaz, I wanted to know what you were up to. I mean, sorry, Dirk.
Yeah, I would imagine Dirk would be telling a story. He would also be telling the story of the travel, but I know that Dirk is going to be focusing on the non-combat aspects of it, the logistics of it, focusing on dealing with the orcs as a group of people who are, also just trying to live and find resources, and so basically downplay the fact that we had to fight them for the people, but use strategy and diplomacy to try and get the people back.
Okay, so I imagine you were talking to the older business owners like last time?
Any who would listen, but I'm also going to be talking about the kobolds.
Oh, yes. Okay, so it'll be similar to the last group you were talking to. So Apenori's even there, the guy who you watched grow up, and
Yes.
some of the more established business people, and then just random people who just think you're an interesting person. And they are all ears about the kobolds now that you've told them about logistics and savory.
There's a lot of people down there with which you can trade. There's towns being reestablished in the wake of these events, but I want it known that these creatures, the kobolds, the lizard folk, they live along these roads, and they're very curious, and so they would come out to watch the wagons go by. But as we've had direct dealings with them, we know that they're not harmful. They're just curious.
But didn't some kobolds... You had to kill some kobolds, right? You slew them in glorious battle.
There are some kobolds that take to thieving and attacking and pillaging, but the ones along this trade route between Gamut and the river, the fishing village, which, does that have a name?
No, not yet.
Okay.
And not even in-game.
Okay. I'm gonna call it... No. Anyway, I'll let you come up with it. Unless you want me to.
I'll say the villagers are coming up with a name.
Okay. The kobolds that live along that route are not taken that way, and they've been well educated not to. Not by me, even. Their parents.
So perhaps because you beat back the marauding kobolds, the fierce marauding kobolds that came to Garson's farm, perhaps that has made them more hesitant about venturing in from the hills.
Actually, I don't think the ones on this route even knew about that tribe. They're separate groups, separate tribes, separate colonies, perhaps.
I think you might be able to tell by the scales.
Why would you be able to tell by the scales, Rook?
Looked like they were different colors, weren't they?
They all had different color scales.
They did?
I think it was something that came up in conversation briefly last episode, and it was something along the lines of there was a slight difference in their weaponry as well as their scales.
So you can tell that they're, sired different, but that doesn't mean that all the ones that look a particular way are going to be fighters. Just means they're different tribes. So we dealt with a tribe that was attacking folk. This one was a tribe that was not.
And so what did you do with that tribe then?
The one that wasn't?
Yes, the friendly ones.
We actually had a good talk. We shared a meal, and I discussed with them that people would be coming along this route to trade, and so that they should stay out of the way. Because they're not there to harm anybody, and I don't want them to get hurt either. So, just a heads up to anybody who might be thinking of starting up trade that way.
They nod sagely in agreement with whatever it is that you tell them.
Thinking about the voice I'm using. Hold on.
Are we getting our accents straight?
I think I just fell away from the one I wanted to use, is all. I'll get it back.
Yeah, I think you were Lance for a second.
Yeah. No, Lance is a grizzled soldier, and then there was Bo, who was more, bright-eyed and had a softer voice. I think I landed somewhere between Gaz's normal voice and Dirk. I'll fix it.
I mean, I was the one who had Narala have a similar accent to Lance's and then forgot it. So, anything else from the party? Anyone have any other things they thought of they wanted to do or say with the townspeople around them? Maybe some food or drink?
Yeah, I want some food. It's been a long trip where we've been eating pretty much nothing but good berries and hardtack.
Okay, fortunately...
Some good stew would be nice.
Stew, yes. Fortunately, anything you ask for is on the house, so you will leave here with a full belly.
Oh yeah, Winter's already far ahead of you. Look. Good girl.
I knew I should have been washing the dog.
No,
She's always got the right idea.
Yeah, Winter's being taken well care of. People are sharing their sandwiches with Winter and all kinds of stuff. Suffice it to say, Winter's going to stink up a room in the morning. So, with that said, the party eventually wanes, and essentially as a tip from what was his name? Edenwood, Big Edenwood, he hands each of you 200 gold from just the fact that he made incredible profits tonight.
Works for me.
It might help that
As I had nothing to do with this, I give Gaz 50.
But you were there, you had people just hanging out around you, and you were telling stories, so I don't know how you didn't have anything to do with it.
I mean, I had something, which is why I still keep 150, but if Gaz hadn't, gotten people in the building, it would have been nothing.
Don't come between me and my 50 gold, DM.
And then, of course, Winter was a big part of it, too. People kept buying food.
Winter also gets another 50 of Derek's gold.
Are you going to take it from him?
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, he could. I'm not, a money grubber, so I don't particularly care.
What's the dog going to do with 50 gold?
Buy more food.
I'd imagine it would just be something that Zero kept a hold of to pay specifically for anything Winter needs, food or barding, maybe. Want to make it a war dog.
Zero, it sounds like they want Winter to have her own bank account.
Oh, you want Winter to have them?
I mean, I'd feel better if Winter had some form of armor or something. Something to keep her a little more safe.
Right. Let's see what I can do. So many sons. Wow. I've never seen this many before.
So many sons?
Yeah, sons.
You mean gold pieces?
Yeah.
Just checking.
I prefer the moonstone.
Is that silver, platinum, electrum?
That's silver. I mean, they look like suns and moons.
But why do you prefer silver pieces over gold pieces?
I know. I just think they look prettier.
So you don't care for their monetary value, you just like the way they look.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This venison is excellent.
Venison is excellent. Okay, I believe that then ends the evening roleplay. You got your money and redistributed it as you saw fit, but everyone played a role in it, and I mean, it might help with the fact that they made so much money that they do in fact have a house table for gambling, but still, they made a good profit. And you are being put up in the wagon flagon. So you each get your own room.
We're living fancy.
Also, Big Edenwood sort of confides in you as a group as he's showing you upstairs that because of all this booming business he's been experiencing for the past few weeks, he's actually going to build an extension to have more rooms off to the side of the building. And he was just, he's very appreciative of everything you've done for his business. And he adds, as an afterthought, for the people of Gamut.
It's good business as adventurers to endear yourself to a population.
He thinks about what you said for a second, then he gets it and he nods at you.
And I'll just say, I'm happy to help.
So, anything anyone needs to do before they fall asleep?
I mean, I'll just want to try arrange with Gaz or someone to come over to my room in the morning so I can have somebody help me get my armor on, and I guess maybe help me get my armor off tonight as well.
Fair.
He comes in to ask me this favor. I'm just by the bed dancing. Yeah, leave it to me. I'll help you out.
Thank you. What's with busting a move all by yourself?
Yeah, you gotta keep up your skills. You don't stay as good a dancer as me by not practicing.
That's something you do often?
As often as I can fit it in. Busy schedule,
Yeah. The more you know, I suppose. Hopefully we can find a place to work it in the future.
It helps with my swordplay. I learned fencing long before you were born.
Really? I've only ever seen you use a bow.
Yes, true. Well, right. He looks around the room as though checking to make sure nobody's listening, even though they're completely alone. So, well, to be honest, I didn't feel too right using fencing and all of the activities I got into with the group I was with before I met you. My ability to learn fencing was a gift from my parents, and I didn't feel quite right using it for some activities they wouldn't probably approve of. So, I stuck with the bow. But now that you've got the group trying to act as right heroes, I figure, might as well bust out the old moves, as you call them.
Glad to see you're taking the high road.
I'm just here to make money. That's always high.
It'll be nice to see those skills get put to good use.
I think that it'll be refreshing for me. Anyway, good night, Rook.
Armor?
I thought you said not till the morning.
Still gotta get, off.
Well, I've never seen this before. You want me to pull on this?
Yeah, see those straps just... Well,
they're stuck. How'd you get them this tight?
what are you not? Well...
The dwarf stuck you in a can, boy. Hold on. I think if I just get a little leverage, I'm gonna put my foot against your chest. No, hold still. Stiller than that.
I'm trying.
I've almost got... It was supposed to bend that way, right?
Well, it does now.
Excellent.
Here,
No, give me that one.
apply some weight on the hands to whatever Gaz just
How
broke.
do you wear this? It's so heavy.
With practice!
Well, it's not for me. Alright, give me that one. Alright, that one came off easy. Wait. Yeah, I definitely didn't break it.
I'm just gonna set aside like 10 gold pieces to get this thing fixed in the morning.
I definitely didn't break it. It's fine. Leave that one with me, I'll fix it. Mahal broke it. Alright,
Who knows?
that's
Maybe the bear
last.
did it.
I think that's the last of it, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Alright. You go, sleep.
I'll gather up the non-broken bits and pieces and...
It's not broken! Mahal did it.
What happened to the piece that you said you were gonna fix, then?
Mahal did it.
Okay. Well, I still leave that part with you, and I take the rest back to my room.
Alright. That piece goes out the window.
Come on!
You didn't need it anyway.
Make that 15 gold pieces to now repair and replace pieces that are missing.
And I go to trance.
So he didn't help you with this when you were traveling in the desert?
I didn't have armor that had, like, straps and things.
Oh,
Previously, it was
yeah.
just, like, chainmail, which you could just slide on like a shirt.
Gotcha,
This is,
okay.
you know, plates that require straps and, you know, fitting.
Well, now that you've been undressed thoroughly by guess, anyway, anything else anyone needs to do before bed?
Mahal by himself takes off his chainmail shirt.
Does he like his chainmail shirt?
Yeah, he just doesn't need help like some people.
Sierra probably needs to take Winter out for a walk. She ate a lot of food.
Yeah, that's eventful. We won't go over it. But yeah, now we can make it morning, if that's okay.
Fine by me.
Yep.
It's now the 18th. What is our plan for today? Because, you know, it's whatever you want to do. You've got nothing tying you here.
I need to, you know, fix and repair my half plate.
Okay. And how much of it needs to be repaired again?
I just set aside 15 gold pieces.
Okay. That's enough. That's fine. Especially
Like,
considering the
but-
discount you'll get.
Yeah. Mechanically, nothing needs to be repaired. It's like not actually a thing. It's just, you know, roleplay.
Yeah, if you need to have someone to help you with your armor, then it would make sense they would mess up the first few times.
Yeah, this time since I don't have it on. Yeah, this time since I don't have it on, I'll try and teach Gaz how it goes on and off so it can help me more effectively next time.
He just needs to take notes.
He's got a good memory. He follows aliases straight.
Okay, anything anyone else is going to do when Rook says, hold on, I need to go repair my armor?
Wait. What happened to your armor?
You know, there was the whole incident with the bear and had some issues getting it off last night.
Mahal broke it.
Well, by the way, what happened to that? Did you manage to fix that piece I gave you?
What about it?
The piece you said you'd fix.
Well, you see, there was a thing, and, I don't think you ever actually, gave it to me, lad.
I did. I left it.
Are you sure? Because there wasn't anything left behind when you left the room.
I know I left it there.
That seems odd, because I remember it differently, Bluff.
I'm not gonna roll. I believe you. It's like just somehow lost it.
22.
Like I can't beat that regardless. Even if I wanted to try.
I could try to repair tomorrow.
Like, it's
I can try to memorize the mending spell.
The what now?
Mending.
I can't help with
I can
armor,
mend.
but if you need help with your weapons, I'm your dwarf.
Hold on, Mahal. You can work magic, Zira.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. You can work magic that fixes things.
Yeah, I can. It's kind of limited, but I can fix some things.
I think that's extremely cool. I didn't know that, and we hadn't discussed anything like that.
I would appreciate it if you were to keep that one at the ready when we're out on long trips. As you know, fixing dents and things in armor while out on the road is a slow process otherwise.
Right.
Side note for Zira, after Rook has gone to get his armor repaired, and you are taking Winter for her morning walk, can you make a spot check for me?
Let's see, spots.
Oh yeah.
26.
Yeah, so you're hanging out around the wagon flagon while Winter's doing her stuff, and you notice a piece of metal lying on the ground next to the building, kind of in an alleyway.
She's gonna, just look at it.
On closer look, it looks kind of like a piece of armor. It's like it came off of someone's suit of armor.
Huh. We threw a piece of armor away. That's weird. Oh well, she's gonna pocket it.
You now have a piece of armor metal, so later on, do what you want with it.
Quick question.
Yeah.
How much would it cost to also try and get the symbol of Cord kind of etched into the shoulder plates?
It'll take a day for each of them. The cost will be 50 gold pieces for the job.
Alright, then I'll keep that under advisement because I don't know if we're going to be here a day or not.
Yeah, it would be 2 days to get the job done, though. 1 per shoulder. Even worse. Anyone else got anything they want to do before we reconvene the group to discuss our next plan?
I'm all ready to go.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, at some point, Rook returns and everyone reconvenes, and it is time to discuss what we're going to be doing.
I'm going to assume, Israel, she woke up with a little bit of a hangover because, she only just started drinking a few weeks ago. So she may have taken a few too many from suitors and such last night.
They say the best thing for that is Harry the dog, lass.
What is that?
Well, if you take a bit of the hair of the dog that bit you, you'll be better able to handle the pain. So, means that if the problem was that you drank, you gotta keep drinking.
She motions to the bartender. Can I please have 1 pint? Thank you.
Sure thing.
All right. Let's see if I feel better after this. In the meantime, how is everyone else? What do we want to do?
Real quick, Bree, make a Constitution save. Or, no, what is it? It's Fortitude save.
All right, hold on.
Since I had a pint last night also, do you need me to make one?
Nope.
Well, I got lucky with that. I rolled a 20 and my total fortitude is 4, so 24.
Oh, well, there we go. So continue.
The fortitude save kicks my fortitude save's ass.
So, what do we want to do?
Well, or some of us would want to go up to the town to the northeast, the one that has that name. It's named something. It's got a name.
Most towns have names, I've learned.
It's on this map, I know. There it is. Averin! That's the name of the town. We want to go to Averin because we need to sort out this thing. We can't leave loose ends. We started this job back in Trapper's camp, and now we need to understand exactly what was going on. Make sure that all the loose ends have been tied up.
I like the sound of exploring a new place.
Sounds like lots of fun.
Aye, and it's for a good cause too. There was a bit of a kerfuffle there in Trapper's camp. There was some corruption and some impersonation. And so now we're going to head to Averin and make sure that they are at least aware that they lost their, I don't know if it was like a diplomat or an overseer.
Perhaps just a messenger on a diplomatic mission?
Oh, diplomat. And, perhaps there's a reward in delivering that information, or perhaps there's an investigation to be done, in which case we could be hired for that. But we've got information.
How exciting.
They've probably got a need to know. So, if you all haven't got a place you'd rather be, Rook and I would certainly enjoy the company, and, things were handled real well down south with the orcs. I figure you've all got, good training and good heads on your shoulders, at least.
Yeah, I don't have anything better to do. Right, Winter?
I would enjoy joining you.
Is there anything else we need to do here? He says, looking at Gaz.
I think there's a stop I want to make real quick. I don't know that it'll change anything, but I don't want to get too far from this place. I've got a bad feeling. Horizons for I kind of like drop my voice a bit. Political horizons for this town aren't looking too good, and I'm a little bit worried about the people who live here. I'm thinking that we're going to want to stay, in range of this place before it becomes a problem. That's my only thoughts on that. So I'm thinking we hit up Avrin. It's a few days travel to get there, but we shouldn't be too far away if Gamut needs us then.
I like the sound of it.
Just want to make sure. You all say that there's nothing we're turning you away from, so as long as that's true, that's what I'd like to do.
If you do remember, I am an orphan. There's not a lot tying me down right now.
I do. I remember. Or I was the same.
And I'm just looking for some honor.
Well, times are tough. There's plenty of folk trying to make trouble for other folk. So, I think you'll have not too hard a time finding a way to gain honor, especially if that honor always comes to you through battle reputation.
Indeed.
And then perhaps once we've had a few more notches in the old battle belts, we can see about that, looking around just to make sure that there aren't two people too close to them as they talk in the tavern.
Other issue?
Yeah, that's it. The other issue. We want to deal with that at some point. It's gonna be a problem. I'm not quite sure we're ready for a creature of that, problem of that caliber.
I think, out of character, would, I be aware that, enchanting's a thing?
I'm not entirely certain. Make an intelligence check.
Oh, joy. 13.
You've heard of armor and weapons having magical properties.
Alright. Then, I'd say to the group, back in Oasis, while it was crappy, it did have decent trade. They had some weapons with magical effects. Maybe if we can get our hands on something like that, we might have a chance against the other issue.
Gaz nods. Says, I think that if there's any place that's gonna have that manner of product, it'd probably be a bigger town like Avrin.
Yep.
I think we'd be doing well to head there and cross our fingers.
Avrin. Perhaps Moraven. It looks fairly large, at least on the map.
I'm starting to get a feel for the markings on this map I bought all those months ago. I do believe that this one for Avrin indicates a large metropolitan hub versus Gamut, which is medium-sized.
Makes sense, because Oasis is the same mark.
I still can't believe there's a city out there in that desert.
But it lacks
sure
in resources it makes up for in location, being kind of central. It can trade things, and their lack of, let's say, morality.
You say it lacks resources and it makes up for it in location, but I think it's lacking location too there.
Perhaps, but their lack of restraint in what they allow for trade makes them well viewed by certain individuals.
I just know I was treated well at the orphanage.
That's a surprise.
In the desert.
You know me. Maybe I'm looking on it a little too fondly.
You seem to have turned out all right, so it can't have been all bad. Right?
Yes. Thank you for noticing.
He's just like looking around the group. I did mean that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Well, the hair of the dog seems to be working well enough on me now. Are we all ready to go?
I am. Anybody, Rook, you got your, you got your roundel fixed. Excellent.
Yeah. Got it fixed.
You know, I'm realizing now that I'm looking at it that that's not supposed to come off.
Yep.
Oh, what parts?
I try to gesture at it.
Point at like this 4-inch diameter disc that covers his armpit joint.
Oh, that looks suspiciously like the thing I picked up. And she's going to show what she picked up.
Where was that?
Oh, I found it outside.
Uh-huh.
Just looking sheepishly at Rook like, you shouldn't be dropping things when transporting them, Rook. You gotta be more careful in town like this. It could have been stolen.
Yeah, I'm not the one who dropped it. I left it in your room.
I slam my cup of water and pound it on the... Well, time to go!
Oh, well, we have an extra, in case of consequences.
Oh well, hold on to it for me, will ya?
Yeah, sure.
I guess I'll ask at this point if we are now leaving Gamut to head to Averin.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, are we going on foot?
You could always hire a wagon again.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could ask about it.
I thought we'd hire a wagon at least to the first town, and then we could hoof it the rest of the way, because there'd be more frequent stops.
There seems to be a town there in the O in province of Had, before Santer even, but I don't know what it is.
I mean, maybe it's more of a ruin if it's not named.
Maybe another small village like that fishing one.
Yeah.
If we're gonna get a wagon driver that heads out that way, he could probably tell us.
Oh, yeah, we should see if there's any wagon already headed that way. Might get a discount. Could I use knowledge local to try and set that up?
Yeah, sorry, I was looking up the price of a horse.
Okay.
And that was knowledge.
There was a knowledge local check to see if I could find somebody nearby who might be running a wagon out towards center.
So it's going to be a basic success. So what it calls up is, you recall that merchants do come through Gamut from time to time. Not entirely helpful, but also not incorrect. So maybe you could do a gather information instead.
Okay, that I can do. I've totally put points into gather information. I have put points in gather information, actually. Oh, okay. 24.
Well then.
I decided to be nice and nat 20 me.
Well, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is the success won't alter the quality of what you found, but you have found the heck out of it.
That's entirely fair.
But yes, there is a merchant who is heading that direction. He's got a wagon that should be big enough for what you need, as long as someone is willing to sit up with him.
I could sit up front if people really don't want to.
Probably should be somebody good with a bow, as that would be a prime spot for them should the cart fall under attack.
Well, that leaves Israel and myself, and if she wants to do it, all right.
I will say, when you bring the group to speak with the merchant, that Israel actually recognizes this person, as well as his young adult daughter who is with him. Israel, this is the group that had been with the hunter that you trained back early on in your story.
Ah, okay.
The ones that he alienated after getting drunk.
I'm trying to remember how that turned out.
Well, they left. They straight up just left Santer, and then you convinced the guy to let you and Alex's character teach him how to make jerky and tan skins.
Okay.
So these two, they've been in the area. You know that they've been to Santer.
Are we by them, by the way? Did we go over to the the blacksmith or whatever?
Yeah, I figure there's going to be a point where he's going to bring you to them to finalize the deal and figure out prices and stuff. And that's when you recognize that these two were working with the hunter who went into the Great Forest, and they departed from Santer several weeks ago.
Well, I'm going to look at them and be like, I've seen you before.
Well, they turn to you, and they don't seem to recognize you at first. Maybe you could jog the memory.
Real quick, I'm gonna look at Israel, surprised. You recognize them? I thought you didn't get out much.
Oh, no, I don't. I don't normally.
Those people.
Well, you remember when there was that deer killing at Santer, and my friend and I showed up? He was a druid, and I was traveling with him at the time, and we talked to your friend.
Friend, you say? Yes, I remember that buffoon. You're not working with him, are you? Are you also a representative of the Great Hunt?
Oh, no. I haven't seen him in weeks.
I'll lean over to Israel and whisper very audibly, "What's the Great Hunt?"
Maybe we can talk about it later. I'm not sure they, I don't think they like me very much.
I'm sorry. Has he gotten... I imagine by this time I at least have a name to use with him.
Yeah, give me a second, I'll make one up.
Okay.
I'll throw it onto the Santer page.
Yay.
That would help.
Yeah, Tharson is the one that they don't like, and I had never actually named them, so give me a second.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but like the Great Hunt is like an organization, and in general, Alex's old character was super unhappy with that because he's a druid and he didn't like hunters, or rather unfair hunters.
What makes it a hunter unfair?
Well, we all do need, in some way, food to survive, and, you know, sometimes you do have to kill an animal to survive, and that's okay, but you have to do it respectfully, and respect the fact that the animal gave its life for you, and try to kill it cleanly and quickly so that it doesn't suffer. Other people don't think so, and a lot of people who believe in the Great Hunt, that they don't necessarily believe that.
Is it that they don't kill them cleanly and quickly, or that they don't use everything?
My understanding from my old friend Kador is that it's a mixture of both.
Oh.
And sometimes they also just do it for trophies, and then they kind of waste the animal and don't do anything properly with it.
It is flashing.
Flashing? It should be working.
No, it was just blinking. There we go. Now it's working. Okay.
Okay, the last thing I heard was Bree saying that they don't use all the parts.
Right.
Yeah.
She said that it was a mixture of both. Or had you not heard my question to her?
I don't think I heard the follow-up question. You started it and then it broke.
Okay. You want to repeat that one with me then, Bree?
Yeah.
Sure. So, is the problem that they were not killing them quickly and cleanly, or that they weren't using all the parts?
That's the problem. There's kind of a mixture of them, and some some don't kill cleanly, and then some just don't use the parts, and that just doesn't seem like the right way to be a hunter.
And you'd said that Kador was upset because they were taking trophies.
Yes. My friend Kador especially didn't like some from the Great Hunt because they were just killing for trophies and then just leaving the parts.
I see. I just sort of like nod and lean back to standing straight, continuing to consider this information, then raise my eyes back up to Bartle and say, Bartle, it was. I'm just learning about this business that you had out that way. None of us is associated with this buffoon of whom you speak. Israel here never even mentioned him to us, so I don't believe there's any further contact there. I'm hoping this won't put a damper on any business dealings you have with us.
Bardell nods.
Good. So, my group, as I explained to you earlier, we're looking to get out Santer Way, and we're hoping that perhaps we could hitch a ride with you as you seem to be headed back. We're able to pay, and obviously we can, I've brought the rest of the group, we can provide any protections you might need against banditry and the like in exchange for this trip.
Can you repeat your question? I had to switch to the other earphones.
Right. I said, I brought the rest of my group, and we can provide protection against banditry and the like, in exchange for allowing us passage on your wagon.
Agreed. That is very useful on these roads. That's why I bring my Karina here. She is the extremely muscular woman in her young 20s who holds a longbow, does not talk to anyone. He says any amount of protection is welcome that will provide a significant discount on your part.
I see. So, with that in mind, what are we looking for price-wise to get this group out to Center?
He's thinking for a second. Clearly it's not something that anyone has asked him, at least recently. He says a group of 6 of you. Let's say 300 gold total. Does that sound fair to you?
300 gold total for one way is a bit steep, especially since we're not simply passengers. Perhaps we can haggle a bit.
Well, what's your counter offer?
I would counter for this distance. God, what did we pay for the last one? Round trip. We paid nothing.
I didn't think it was. I'm trying to remember.
It wasn't several. Like, it was, I think maybe around like 100 or something.
I think it was like 160.
Yeah, I was thinking 150 or 160, somewhere around there.
It was significantly cheaper for a similar distance that I wasn't already going, and we were getting round trip.
And we were exchanging the service of advertising. Let's say, given a similar trip that we've made recently, wherein we weren't necessarily being used for protection of the wagons, I would offer you my counter. I would counter at 100 gold pieces. What say you?
He's thinking for a second, and he extends his hand to shake.
Oh, well, all right then. I expected a little more back and forth, but there we go. There it is.
Are you ready to depart now? Because I would very much like to.
I don't think anybody... I'm ready. Everybody else?
Yep.
Right.
I'm all ready.
Out of character, though, real quick. Didn't Gaz want to make a stop by his parents?
That had been something that I'd wanted to do.
the DM's okay, but we could probably like backdate it to before we came and talked to you guys.
I mean, could I just roll that into my gather information when I'm going about and make a stop off there?
Yeah, gather information does take a chunk of time.
Yeah. So I would have stopped off while I was gathering the information that led me to this wagon and just let them know that the powers that be around here are dumb and are going to start a big riot. It's definitely on the horizon, so they should be prepared to, go to ground if that happens and I'm not here.
So you're telling your parents this in person?
Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty straightforward and blunt about it too.
And this is the first time have they gotten to see you yet in the campaign?
No.
Okay.
I know you went to like give them money when we first got here, like the first time, but I don't know if that was actually in person or if we just like slipped it under the door.
I mean, I didn't do it in view of any of the party, but I leave it where they can find it.
So run me through how this is going to work. You're going to knock on the door, and then what?
And then I imagine there's going to be, some amount of either excitement or trepidation that I'm there. They're old, so it's not going to be like anybody throwing themselves at anybody else. Yeah.
Right, the elf with human parents. I forgot that.
Right. They do react to you differently now than they might have 20 years ago, because you're the child who will never age, and they're in their twilight years.
Yeah.
There's even a twinge of resentment that you pick up on sometimes, but they still welcome you into their home with open arms. They offer to feed you and whatnot, but you can tell that they are frail.
I haven't got a lot of time to spend here, so I just wanted to make a quick stop because I'm a bit worried about some information I've been getting from, goddamn, what's his name? The councilman.
Oh, Apinor?
Apinor. It seems that they're trying to impose this new tax on people they've not been taken before, and I think that's going to go over rather poorly, and so I'm very concerned about how that's going to affect the people here and affect your lives. I want to make sure that you're aware that this is happening and know that you can get out to someplace safe should things turn violent within the city.
Oh goodness, that's not good. Do you say there's he says there's riots?
I mean, not yet, but I figure there will be, given the information I have.
What's that he's saying? He says there's riots.
Yeah, there will be on the horizon.
Oh my goodness.
So, do you have a place you can get to that's not in the city?
No, none that we can't move.
I mean, not necessarily move. Just some place you can go to that's not here for a little while, like a week or two.
I don't know. We're not built for travel no more.
All right, don't worry about it. I'll set it up. I'll set it all up. I'm gonna go set it up with my buddy, who is definitely my buddy. I'm gonna remind him how much he's my buddy and how bad it would be if he wasn't.
Oh, your tiefling mentor.
Go see Vectus. And let him know. I'm sure he's aware, because he would not be good at his job if he was entirely unaware of what was going on. And say, if the shit hits the fan, he needs to move my parents somewhere safe. And I'm going to put some money in his hand as the incentive, but it's just a partial upfront with a promise of more if he has to do it.
Okay, how much?
I'm going to give him 100 of my own gold.
Oh wow, okay. That was your diplomacy
I want to make
check.
sure he understands how important this is to me.
Well, yeah, you can trust him to do it quickly, diligently, and well, should the time come.
Good.
Whatever loyalty he has to you, the money speaks just as well.
Mm-hmm. So, with that done, back to the present. Yeah, we're ready to leave.
Nice cutaway. I view that as a cutaway. Is everyone ready to leave? Cut back. Okay, yeah, we're ready to go.
I just Ocean's 11'd it.
Good movie.
Do we need Ocean's 11 music at some point? Should I have a heist at some point?
A heist would probably not go wrong.
Well, now that you've said that.
Okay, now the heist will definitely go wrong. But you know what? That'll be fun too.
Anyhow, yeah, ready to roll.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the map here, and you mentioned you wanted them to stop by that village in the O of the word of.
I wanted to know if it had a name, but I see that it's the same icon as the fishing village, which is probably why it doesn't have a name.
Yes, they can explain to you that is... it's not a new farming community. It's just not a... It's the main farming community for the Santer Averin area. They note that as Santer and Averin are growing, especially Averin, that there is a need to establish another farming community, but heist would yeah. I was reading Zan's message, but that's the main farming community that sort of keeps Santer and Averin taken care of. Although both cities have a fair amount of farmers in their vicinity, this is a dedicated farming area. And if you show him the map, he'll tell you that Bree is really the only one right now that has a name, but this one is having to grow, coupled with the demand of Averin growing, to the point that it and the one on the river are going to either need to grow significantly into towns, or Averin's going to need to establish another area to found one of these. But there's no need to stop by there unless you're just worried about having somewhere to sleep, which shouldn't be an issue, he says. You can probably just stick to the path that takes you to Santer.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking us to Santer. Like, the only reason I had any question about the thing in the of is that Derek had said, get us to the first village and then we can hoof it. And I noticed that there was another village that was not Santer, and I was like, no, we should just go to Santer.
Yeah, this is even off the path a ways, just like going from Salem to Bree.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I mostly that was a good point. I mostly at this point just want to know what the village was, like if there was a reason it was unnamed on the map or what.
Yeah, that's the reason, that there are random communities that just don't have names. It's the ones on the river just sprung up because one family led to 2, led to 3, led to 10, and in this case it's just hubs of farming, where it's not that that's where the farms themselves are, it's where they all meet up and get all their goods going towards the cities. That's the icon. It's where the food gets brought from the farms.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically the distribution center.
It pretty much is. There's if you ask the man who's taking you to Santer, he'll explain that that is essentially a tent city that's run by officials from Averin.
So, what can our cart driver tell us about Santer and Averin? I'd kind of like to get the lay of the land before we get there.
Some of the information you can get from Isarel, and then some of it you can get from Bardell, not from Karina, because she's not going to talk. And side note about Karina, she doesn't always ride on the cart. Sometimes she goes off and scouts or stalks or whatever. Comes back with a dead thing, maybe. Not person. But yeah, Santer is one of the larger settlements in this area. I go back to the map now. It is currently growing. whereas Gamet's not really growing, but it would be a long time before Center even rivaled the size of Gamet. It was a river community, but its proximity to Averin has made it grow into a proper city. That's the main thing to know about Center. It's currently growing, as is Averin, just because of the proximity to the river. The main thing that you need to know about Center is when you visit, it's a walled city like Gamet, except that you are brought to the deputy's office. The law enforcement there is a sheriff and deputies, and they're also basically the militia. And they check in your weapons. And it's a violence-free city where they are harsh with anyone who starts a fight, and doubly so if you use a weapon to do so. And then you check out your weapon when you leave.
Just severely eyeing the fighter and the paladin as this information is coming to us.
Yeah, don't worry, it's not that difficult.
So they take a weapon, and then when we leave, we get back
They
a
take
weapon.
all of them.
Darn it.
They even part old men with their walking sticks.
And younger men with their quivers of smaller walking sticks?
No, I was just making a Gandalf reference.
I was making a DM of the Rings reference.
Oh. Well, have I angered the gazebo?
Not yet.
Okay. Averin, however, is by far the largest city in Had. You can see it on the map. It's really big. It's a walled city with towers and all of that. There are two ways in, the East Gate and the West Gate. There's a road that goes alongside the river from Sander all the way to Fairport. So that road goes right through the center of Averin. It's the main road in Averin. I mean, there's all kinds of information that you can get on Averin if you want it, or I can just send you a typed up blurb later on.
I can take the blurb later on if you want.
Yeah, and I'll make that available through Twitter for viewers to read as well. But yeah, it's the capital city. It was walled. DM of the Rings, Disorder of the Sick. I'll look at that later. Averin is a walled city that was established as the main city and had by the former kingdom that used to be here. So, Anaria. And since then it's acted as the capital of Had. Now, one thing you'll see in the blurb is the politics of this area. Averin's not in charge. They're just looked upon to make the major decisions and provide military when needed. Otherwise, it's all city-states. Just as a side note. You could liken it to Athens, I suppose. Anything else that you want to ask about this area, Saturn and Averin?
I don't think so.
I would like to know if it is an area that is I'm trying to think of the right wording here, I'm sorry. Plagued, I guess, by banditry or other dangerous wildlife, just so that we can have a heads up if this is going to be, like, what kind of creatures we should expect to be protecting the wagon from, if any.
I had to look and see what his name was again. Bardell nods and says, actually, now that you mention it, this one of the reasons that, well, A, he points at his daughter, and B, I allowed you on this trip at such a discount, is it is in fact a problem on these roads sometimes. Sometimes, you know, you'll do an entire trip, there's no problem, and other times you get waylaid by highwaymen who then demand a cut of your profit and you pay it. So it is kind of a problem, and Averin's had their hands full, so they haven't been able to deal with it.
Is it mostly highwaymen, or is it also dangerous wildlife?
Wildlife can occasionally be an issue. It hasn't been, in my experience, an issue along the roads that often. Occasionally we gotta scare off a wolf or something, but that tends to be a problem in the just the plains areas where there's no road. That's a big problem. I wouldn't travel, for example, and he points at your map, between Lanier and Fairport. That would be dangerous.
Don't worry, Rook. If we come across another bear, we'll protect you.
I don't need protecting. I was just fine last time.
Yeah, but what if there are 2 bears next time?
Well, then, you guys get one, I'll get the other.
He'll take it on with his bare hands.
I'll have to if they're going to take my weapon.
Ha 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 ha. Clearly, we'll have to protect the bears from him.
Indeed.
Yeah, the man with the wagon whose name I keep forgetting, Barden, something like that. He says that he hasn't seen bears in this area before, but he wouldn't rule it out. The main hazard in the plains tends to be wolf packs preying upon the wildlife, deer, rabbits, that sort of thing, and occasionally they might approach the road and try to mess with you. But overall, they've seemed to be intelligent enough not to mess with caravans, for example. And up until his stint, business venture with Tharson, that's usually what this man does, is he travels with caravans. Any other questions while you've got him? I'm going to assume this is all on the way to Center.
Yeah, that's good.
That's how we pass the time.
Oh, when we get to the city, we should probably try to get armor for winter.
Yeah, dog barding.
Yeah, keep
Sounds
her
like a good idea
protected.
to me. One question I do have is, maybe it was answered, I just missed it. Do we have an idea how long the trip will take?
With the wagon, and he's actually trying not to take his time. He doesn't want to push, but he definitely wants to make this trip in about 2.5 days. So
Okay.
The nights are going to be, once it's time to go, that sort of thing. And especially the fact that there are elves who can keep watch. He's even going to push for leaving a little earlier than usual. So if people need to nap in the wagon, then they will need to do that. Because he's trying to get to Santer in just over 2 days. He's wanting to get there by noon in 2 days. Or, no, 3 days at noon.
Okay. Then I guess that would lead to a follow-up question of what has him in such a hurry?
He very much wants to just finish this journey to Fairport. So this is just one of his stops. He wants to hit Averin a day's travel after that. Next place, a day's travel after that, so he can hit Fairport at nighttime. And that he has it all planned out, and then he wants to book passage the next day on a boat and continue his journey.
You're heading out onto the water.
Yeah, I'm done with this area, this region. Highwaymen, Tharsons, all this stuff, I'm just done with it. So I'm going to try heading north and see what I can find.
What have you heard about that place?
Well, he points at your map and says, well, I'm not going to the Goblin Crags, if that's what you're wondering.
No, I figured you're getting right out.
Well, I'm at the very least we're going to, the two of us, make a journey north and do basically what you're doing, join the crew for the journey. We're going to head up to an area north of here that we've heard of, see if there's any employment we can have there, or at the very least just work on the ship for a bit, come back, and then if all else fails, come back to what we've been doing. But maybe things up north are a little bit better, because things are pretty bad here, Highwaymen, there was a protection bracket over at Trapper's Camp that I heard about. That didn't go well.
Yes. We had heard about that one through the grapevine, as it were.
And it's kind of a problem. That's been going on all over this area, this road especially, plagued with highwaymen. So I'm just done with it.
As I had heard it in one of the taverns as we were traveling, there were a couple of fighters that started a ruckus in Trapper's camp and got that protection ring tore all down.
I don't know if I'd heard that or not. I heard that there was a confrontation of some kind that happened. I was just in Pan a few days ago, so I heard about that.
Isarel's just sitting there with, like, her hands under her chin, just taking this all in. Very interested.
I just imagine that, Gaz is, poking his head up through the... is it like an open top wagon or like a covered wagon?
Convertible.
Oregon-style wagon?
Is it funnier if it's covered so you can stick your head out?
I mean, it's always funnier if it's covered wagon. It also protects goods.
Yeah, we'll say that
rings.
the area that protects the goods is covered, and then there's an area in the back that's not covered.
Okay. So yeah, he's just sort of poking his head out between Ardell and Isarel.
And you had a question for him. I forgot what it was.
No, I've forgotten to. Give me a second.
I'm sure you wanted to hear all about the heroics he heard about.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, so, I'd heard that that protection racket got broken up, at least, that there's somebody out there trying to set things to rights.
Well, at least they have that, because these roads are becoming more of a problem in recent years. It's almost every journey I've got to toss some coin at the highwaymen that Avron's been too busy to deal with.
It's not every trip, though.
Pretty much every single one.
Okay.
Well, hopefully we can alleviate that cost.
I hope so too, because I believe we're going to come up on them in about an hour.
I know. I'm not usually, but I'm a bit excited to meet them. I've found that we can be very convincing. Maybe they'll rethink the prices of using the road.
Yeah, you can give me a reduced rate, perhaps.
I think we can handle that.
Oh, yeah. I think we can do that.
He was being somewhat sarcastic, because he's actually hoping that you're going to just deal with this once and for all. Or at least scare them off.
Well, I didn't want to tip our hand.
Well, he didn't say anything. It's just his demeanor is more like he's really been hoping this whole time that you guys are going to help him out with his problem.
This whole time, Mahal's just been sitting in the back, making sure his axe is nice and polished and shiny. So that way the bandits can see their own reflection in it.
I was about to do something similar. I was going to make sure it was, good and sharp, good for cutting.
Make sure that they can see themselves in the weapons before they die.
No,
Yeah.
just his weapon. His is just, shiny, fancy, useless. Mine's good and sharp and, good for cutting.
Lovely.
I'm sure we can deal with them.
Well, the time passes and Bardell points out some topography and he says, yeah, pretty sure we're coming up on the area near their camp, so I guess I'm just gonna have to pay them.
Keep the coins in your wallet for now. I think that Isarel's got a word she'd like to have with them.
Very well. I will let you handle it. His daughter's nowhere to be seen, by the way. So, shortly, in the road in front of you, there is a log that's been placed in the middle of the road. He says, yep, there it is.
I just looked at Isarel and like, I'm right here, any way you want to play it.
What do you suggest? I'm not quite sure what to do this time.
I mean, I suggest we have some fun with them, and definitely keep them talking until we got at least an idea how many there are. Don't want to jump straight into a fight we're outnumbered.
Right. See, I've never been in these situations before, so that makes sense. Let's figure out what's going on.
I can lead if you want. I'm just trying to give you a chance to stretch your legs.
Just do your best to talk it out into the open so I don't have cover behind whatever trees, whatever they're hiding behind.
Why don't you lead for now?
All right. Any way you want to do it.
So, at the end of your conversation, 4 people come out from a hiding spot, and the leader of them stops the wagon, holds up his hand, and the wagon driver stops the wagon and kind of turns to you, sort of a side eye, and he says, "Yes, what do you need?" And they explain, we need your money for keeping the roads safe, and we might need to get a cut from your fellow merchants as well.
Oh gosh, is this what you were talking about? The toll for the highway, Uncle?
Yes, nephew, the toll.
Oh man, they're much bigger and scarier than I thought they'd be. Sir, you're the ones who keep the roads safe?
We are that indeed, young man.
Wow, that has got to be a scary job, but with the weapons and the armor and the numbers you've got, I'm impressed. How much do you need?
Can you make a bluff check for me?
Sure. That is a 15.
We'll go with our usual rate.
I mean, I like duck my head back into the covered part of the wagon. I'm like, there's just so much gold back here. It's really heavy. Can I get a hand from one of your boys?
Okay, make another bluff check.
Oh my.
I would like to prepare to cut off the hand that gets stuck in here, so that we actually have a hand from one of his boys.
I would like to know, like, you said that there's one guy talking, but how many are visible?
It's a large burly man, and then 3 people behind him.
3 people behind him. Okay, so there's 4 that I know of.
Yes, further description, they're wearing various iterations of light or medium armor. They've got a hodgepodge of weapons. The leader has a great sword. The rest of them have smaller swords or bows, that sort of thing, a crossbow.
Sierra's getting ready to cast a spell.
I did a little better on that bluff check. I got an 18. But can I also make like a spot check just to see if I can pick out if they've got anybody else hidden nearby?
Go for it.
Okay, not great. That's going to be a 10. So wait, what's my passive? My passive was 13.
Okay. You are not aware of anything of that sort.
Okay, so yeah, I go back there and I ask for help.
Yeah, well, your bluff was really good.
We'd really like to give you all this gold, but it's very, very heavy.
So the leader indicates to one of them to go over and take the appropriate cut from the barrels of gold that you have tucked away. That person walks over with you.
And yeah, I'm going to show them to the back of the wagon, and as soon as I pull the curtain, I'm going to say, "There it is, the gold."
And I would like to take a prepared action.
Do it.
Yeah, same. I'm casting Shillelagh.
And I would like to be trying to attempt to cut off his hand, as we said we need a hand
Yes,
for the gold.
and you are catching him flat-footed.
Alright. As I assume this is mechanically just like a regular attack, just against his flat-footed AC, correct?
Yeah, I'm just removing dexterity from the number.
Okay. I will power attack, because I can. And I'm going to go for the max. So that's a -3. So that gives me a total bonus of +5 still. Not great, but not horrible. 13.
That's the number that was in my head.
Okay. So then I guess I need to roll me some damage.
In slow motion, this person is shrieking out in pain and surprise.
So I rolled poorly, but power attack should compensate. Let's see, that's 3 plus 4, so 7 plus another 6 for power attack, so that's 13 points of damage. Yeah.
Okay.
Isarel, get Uncle Bardell. He's got his hand on the gold. I told him we brought too much.
There is a huge gash on this man's arm, all the way down, and he's bleeding profusely. He shrieks in pain, and we roll initiative.
Oh my.
We will go for a little bit, like one round, and then we'll pause the combat to continue next time. Here's the picture. We've got a big burly man with a great sword strapped to his back, standing 15 feet away from the wagon. We've got a man wearing leather armor who has been gashed across the arm and is bleeding profusely. And then we've got an elf woman with a bow that is about 40 feet back. And next to the elf woman is another large burly man with a sword. So we are at 22 on initiative. That is Zira. I know that you had a spell prepared, and you didn't get to use it yet.
Oh, I thought that I casted it the second the person came to the wagon and stuck his hand in.
Okay, I didn't know what spell it was. I'm sorry.
Shillelagh.
And what does that do?
My quarterstaff becomes magical, +1 to hits, and it does more damage.
Okay, so now we get to use that. Are you doing an attack roll?
Yeah. I'm going to flurry of blows, so I make 2. The first one is definitely a miss. The second one, though, oh, that is a hit, for sure. 21.
Okay.
Oh wow, actually max damage. Base attack. You add base attack to damage, right?
No, just strength.
Or okay, just strength. Okay, then 14 damage.
Okay, the man falls over in a crumpled, unconscious heap. This is all still before the bandits really have a chance to process what has just happened, because in a span of about 3 seconds, the man has been slashed across the arm and punched in the chest and fell over with broken rib cage. So, Gaz.
I'm just gonna say, oh man, Gerald over here's really hurt himself. The gold was too heavy, Uncle Bardell. Isarel, I could really use a hand.
Okay, make a bluff check at a -10.
Oh my.
It's okay. That's still a 12.
Is that all you're doing on your turn?
No, I just like selling it.
Okay.
About how much distance, like a grid might help. About how much distance are we talking from the back of the wagon to where the other bandits are?
Back of the wagon's about 25 feet from the leader and about 50 feet from the other two. I'll have a grid set up next time.
Okay. Then in 30 feet, I can make it to the leader. So as I move toward him, I would like to be drawing my rapier and then making an attack on him, and saying, as I pass by Isarel, just point at the two more distant bandits and say, I think they really need your help.
Making a bluff check while charging the leader with a weapon. Because this is all in 6 seconds time.
It's true. Still made my 12.
Okay, Mahal. After he's said that and while he's running, what are you doing?
Wait, but I can still... Can I not attack?
That's true. Yeah, you can.
Okay, I mean, if I can't, I can't. I just want to make sure. I was under the impression that I wasn't using my action to speak.
Yeah, technically it's a free action.
Okay. Then, yes, I would like to make an attack. First time I've ever gotten to use my rapier.
Stab, stab.
Stabby, stabby. All right.
They have not acted yet, so this is a sneak attack.
Okay, cool. I was about to ask if he was flat-footed.
They are.
Cool. So that is a dirty 20.
Okay, that's gonna hit Dirty Harry.
Sweet. It does not threaten critical, but it is going to deal 1d6 plus 1 for the dagger, plus an additional 2d6 for sneak attack damage.
Is this your first sneak attack?
This is my first ever sneak attack. Oh, I gotta throw up the thing. Sneak attack! Yeah, sneak attack, go! Alright, so that's going to be a 5 plus 1 is 6 for the dagger, non-magical piercing damage, and then it's an additional 9 points of sneak attack damage on top of it. All piercing.
So what's the total?
The total is 15 points of non-magical piercing damage.
Okay, you pierce him in the chest in a non-lethal area, and he takes a boatload of damage. He is bleeding, obviously. Mahal.
I'm gonna guess that I'm not gonna be able to reach any of them with my 20 feet speed, so I'm just gonna get as close as I can while shouting, "Hi, I'm Gold."
Okay.
It actually took me a second to get the joke.
Okay, both movement actions will get you in flanking position.
So I'll actually be able to attack?
No, you used your attack as a movement.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
But you're either in flanking position now, or when you do your next action, you can do a 5-foot step. I'll make sure I get the grid all worked out for you. The goals. Okay. After that, we're at Banditos. Y Bendita. I'm gonna make some rolls.
There's a bandita?
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a bandita.
Yeah, there's a female archer elf.
4 life choices. It's the former thief.
Okay, Gaz. I'm pretty certain that a 16 could miss you.
A 16 on my AC will miss me.
Okay, and Mahal, will a 19 hit?
My AC is 19 exactly, and I don't remember how that plays out.
Meter beat, so a 19 on a 19 would hit.
Then I'm hit.
Okay, an arrow strikes you, grazes your shoulder, and deals 1 point of damage. Because arrows are weird in 3.5.
Yeah, they get no pluses unless you have a strength modifier and a bow that allows you to add your strength to the damage.
Or you start enchanting your stuff.
Or that.
Let's see here. With the -4, then that's gonna... I think that's gonna miss Gaz? Yeah, that's gonna miss Gaz with the -4.
If it's 16 or lower, it definitely misses. If it's higher than
Yeah.
16, then it might hit.
It was a dirty 20, but I had to do the -4 for firing into melee.
Right, yep. So a 16 again would miss.
Yeah, because it wasn't the elf. The elf was the one who actually hit. Alright, that means... one more thing is the one who missed is going to chuck their crossbow. It's the big old burly guy. He's going to chuck his crossbow and pull out a sword, much like you would throw a gun in an action movie when it's out of bullets.
I always hated these things.
Oh, I missed! Darn it! And I'm out of crossbow stuff. Okay, now we're at Isarel.
I need more crossbow food.
All right, so there's two people in front of the wagon. How far away?
There's one that is 15 feet from you, and there are two that are 30 feet away from you.
Where's the female?
She's 30 feet.
Okay.
She's the one that clearly has the precise shot.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out my longbow and aim at her.
I like it because you're still sitting in the wagon. Just pull out a longbow and casually shoot her.
I mean, I probably stood up so it doesn't, smack the bottom of the footrest of the wagon, but my roll was a 16.
Yeah, you're striking the burly guy, and he's not wearing armor.
Cool, and I totally didn't pull out my proper dice for this. Hold on.
Oh no!
Okay, got it. I'm gonna roll my d8. Not bad. I rolled a 6.
Okay, 6 points of damage. That's a good chunk right there. So Elf Lady has an arrow sticking out of her inner shoulder. So she's angry and she furrows her brow at you. It's on.
I'm so sorry, lady.
And Rook.
Are any of the enemies standing next to each other?
The two that are at range are within 10 feet of each other.
Within 10 feet, so not next to each other.
Not directly next to each other, no.
Well, actually, let me check something.
Can you stand between them?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out how cleave works, because I think if I smite, I can cut through one of them and maybe hit the other.
Well, you'd have to get to them first, and they're 40 feet from you.
And I can do that in a charge.
True.
Charge is nice. Charge is good.
It only starts to really have downsides once you can make more than one attack in a round, but I can't. So, with the exception of, cleave, which it doesn't, take away from.
Are you certain you can smite?
I'm not certain, but I can try.
Okay.
Don't you always have the ability to detect evil?
As an action, yes, but I don't want to use that action.
I thought it was an aura or something.
Well, I can double check. Let's see.
No.
I think you have an aura of good, and it's at will. You can do the action.
Yeah, the aura of good means that other people could detect you as good if they have, detect good.
Detect evil. At will, a paladin can use detect evil as the spell, which I assume is an action.
It is. But if they're evil, the smite will work.
Yep. So I'm just going to try it. So, let's see. Within reach. So, yeah, I can just... So I'm going to charge between the two of them. So,
which one's
charge.
getting thwarted first?
Does one look more hurt than the other?
Well, there is the burly man without armor with he's pained, I think. Someone hurt him.
If one is injured, I will attack that one first.
Wait, Israel, did you shoot the elf or did you shoot the burly man?
I shot the elf, the woman.
Okay, yeah. So the burly man is not hurt, but he's going to be the easier one to hit.
But is the other target injured?
She is injured. She has an arrow sticking out of her shoulder.
Then I'm going to go for that.
Go for that, then.
Okay, so... We're gonna... Let's see. So I'm gonna smite. Will smite work?
Smite is indeed working.
Okay, so because that affects my attack roll. So...
Hold on. With the elf, no, it won't work.
Okay. So then, in that case, I'm only going to do a, well... Yeah, we're going to just go for broken. Go with the full power attack. So... That is a 18 to hit.
18 will hit.
Okay. I believe that's 13 points of damage.
Okay, and Bree had done 8, I think?
I rolled a 6.
6, okay. So she is incredibly injured.
But not down?
No.
Bummer.
You
well.
slashed right across her torso. She is bleeding partially out of her abdomen.
I rolled a 1 and a 2 again. I keep rolling poorly on my damage.
Aw.
That's where we're going to pause. So where we're at is an incredibly injured individual, two incredibly injured individuals, and a shirtless man who has not been struck yet by a smooth criminal or otherwise, and someone who is crumpled up in the ground making blood happen.
Oh, for the record, my AC is reduced by 2 for the next round since I charged.
And that is it for this session. We're going to pick up with the combat, and then should everyone survive, we will then move on to Averin. Well, Santer, then Averin.
Woo!
So, thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate the people who came and tuned in, especially giving feedback on audio issues and whatnot. And all the players, thanks for coming.
Bye.
Thank you.
Night.
Yeah, bye.